Good evening, everyone. How are we all this evening?
Hope you're all doing well. Sorry, we've got a little dog.
We've got a little dog in the background crying at us for attention.
Yes, exactly. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to our third.
I know, I can't believe we're on our third LGBTQ plus History Month live stream.
I'd completely forgotten about it today, actually, until later. And then
I sent you a message. Yes. What time are you coming round? But no, it is our third one. Yep. So next week we've got our last Thursday night stream for History Month. We've got our last topic in our LGBTQ plus History Month series. Mm-hmm. And then next Friday we've got our virtual Purple Party, which we'll tell you a little more about later on, which we're very looking forward to. I'm very excited. Had loads of meetings about that in the last couple of weeks.
We have.
And it's going to be an amazing evening, but we'll tell you all about that later on.
Yep.
So last week we looked at the LGBTQ plus pride flags. Mm-hmm. The week before we looked a bit about the history of LGBTQ plus pride.
Well remembered.
I know, thank you. Can you tell I double-checked the website today, www.auburnpride.com, where you will find all of our past virtual events.
Brilliant.
Including our whole LGBTQ plus History Month series.
Fantastic.
So I double-checked them to check what we've been talking about. I'm joking, I already knew.
Well, good evening, Alan. How lovely to see you. Well, we're not seeing you, but you know.
Hello. Lovely for you to join us, dear. So yes, so tonight we are talking about the acronym. As Auburn Pride, we always refer to it as LGBTQ+, or we always try to refer to it as LGBTQ+. But there are lots and lots of different variations of the acronym, including LGBT, GLBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQI, LGBTI, LGBTIA, LGBTQIA, LGBTI+, LGBTQ+.
And breathe.
Just to name a few. But the full acronym is LGBTQQIAAP.
Yep.
So there we go. That is the full acronym. When we say LGBTQ+, that is what we mean. LGBTQIAAP.
Round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. I do say it quite a lot in my lessons with schools and everything as well. So that's a full acronym, and that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the acronym, what the letters mean, and we're talking about different terms that we might have used during our live streams, or you might hear us talk about as we're talking about the LGBTQ plus community, in what those terms actually mean. So really, tonight's a bit like a glossary.
It is, isn't it?
It's the glossary night.
It's the Auburn Pride glossary night.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome to glossary night. So the terms, when we're going through these are the terms that I use and that I found and I personally use to describe the different LGBTQ plus meanings that we're going through today. Some people might use slightly different ways to describe them, and some people might know other names for them as well. This is just the words that we use. So, shall we start?
Yes, let's.
This is where I hope my glamorous assistant can hold the cards up properly.
Yeah, he couldn't find one, so he had to put it with me.
I know Crystal wasn't available this evening to be my glamorous assistant.
There we go. L.
So L, very nice. I do like the very colourful letters.
Lovely.
They're huge as well. So L, lesbian, refers to a woman who has romantic and or sexual orientation towards other women. Some non-binary people may also identify with this term. I just love this.
G is gay, refers to a man who has a romantic and or sexual orientation towards men. Also a generic term for lesbian and gay sexuality. Some women define themselves as gay rather than lesbian. Some non-binary people also identify with this term.
It's amazing. It's like we've got a little props department for these. Last week we had loads of flags. This week we've got giant letters. Ta-da!
B.
Thanks to the props department. B. Bisexual is a term used to describe a person who has a romantic or sexual orientation towards more than one gender. and it's bisexual. T, oh, this one's very iridescent and the lights are hitting it.
Yes. T is trans, and it's a term to describe someone whose gender is not the same as or does not sit comfortably with the gender they were assigned at birth. Some people, including some but not all trans people, may use trans as an umbrella term for the wide variety of gender identities, including but not limited to transgender, queer gender, GQ, gender fluid, non-binary, gender variant, genderless, agender, non-gender, bigender, trans man, trans woman, trans masculine, trans feminine.
Very well done, Hannah. Now we've got 2 Qs coming up next. Now the first Q...
Oh.
Are you checking you've got the right letter there?
Yeah, no. Checking out the right angle.
The first Q that we do is for queer. Queer is a term used by those wanting to reject specific labels of a romantic or sexual orientation and or gender identity or gender expression. It can also be a way of rejecting the perceived norms of the LGBTQ plus community, including racism, sizeism, and ableism. Although some LGBTQ people use the word queer quite a lot, and it's a word that's been brought back to be used by the LGBTQ plus community, a lot of LGBTQ plus people still have issues with the word queer, depending on their age, because of the fact that it was used in a derogatory way, and in some places still is. And we've got a second Q.
I'll have a Q, please, Bob. Q, questioning. The process of exploring your own sexual orientation and or gender identity. That was a quick one.
That was a quick one. Hello, little doggy. I. So I is for intersex, a term used to describe a person who may have the biological attributes of both sexes, or whose biological attributes do not fit with the societal assumptions about what constitutes male or female. Intersex people may identify as male, female, or non-binary. Then we've got 2 A's coming up.
Oh dear.
A. They're very colourful, these letters.
They are, they're really nice. A is for ally, a typical straight, that'd be me, and or cis person who supports members of the LGBTQ plus community. This could be a cis heterosexual woman who supports LGBTQ plus people in their rights to equality. This could also be a cis homosexual gay man who supports the rights of trans people.
And those are just 2 examples of an ally. And we've got another A. A. I do love these letters. I'm so pleased with them. A is the second A is for asexual. Asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction to others and low or absent interest or desire for sexual activity. It may be considered a sexual orientation or the lack therefore of. And the last letter in our acronym, oh, this one's very colourful, is P.
Pansexual. Can you move it?
Yeah.
Can I read it like that?
You're not meant to reveal that. It's typed on the back.
No, I didn't. Yeah. Pansexuality is sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction towards people regardless of their gender identity. Pansexual people may refer to themselves as gender blind, asserting that gender and sex are not determining factors in their romantic or sexual attraction to others.
So there we go. That is the full acronym LGBTQIAAP.
Well done.
Thank you. It's a good job I haven't had a gin because that's when I get confused with them. And you would have heard me over the last few weeks say LGBTQ plus a lot while we've been doing our History Month programmes.
Yep.
And of course, you may have already read all of those terms and without a description, but read what all the acronym means in our weekly Open Times article, which we've been doing throughout History Month as well, which has been fantastic. In case you haven't been reading the Open Times every week in February, we have had an article in it every week in February, which we're really pleased about. We think it's been amazing.
Yes, it has.
So when we were going through the acronym, we spoke a lot about sexual/romantic orientation. So orientation is an umbrella term used to describe a person's attraction to other people. The attraction may be sexual, which is sexual orientation, and or romantic, which might be romantic orientation. These terms refer to a person's sense of identity based on their attractions or lack thereof.
Gender. Gender often expressed in terms of masculinity or femininity. Gender is largely culturally determined and is assumed from sex assigned at birth.
And when we're looking at gender, we're going to look at gender identity. A person's innate sense of their own gender, whether male, female, or something else, which may or may not correspond to their sex assigned at birth.
Gender expression. How a person chooses to outwardly express their gender within the context of a sociological... Put my teeth back in.
You always have problems with words, us two.
Maybe we should have had a gin first.
Anna, this is a very serious topic. Behave.
I'm sorry.
We would never make news presenters.
We shouldn't be doing this if it's not serious. Carry on. Yeah. Text of societal expectations of gender. A person who does not conform to oh my God, I've got to say it again. Societal expectations of gender may not, however, identify as trans.
I will say that some of these words aren't my own words. I have used copy and paste a few times. So the difficult words we can't say, that's why. It's when I look up to clarify definitions. Gender dysphoria, used to describe when a person experiences discomfort or distress because it's a mismatch between their sex assigned at birth and their gender identity. This is also the clinical diagnosis for someone who doesn't feel comfortable with the sex they were assigned at birth. And when we're talking about sex assigned at birth, we refer to people who do identify with the sex assigned at birth as cis or cisgender, which is Anna's going to talk about now.
Someone whose gender identity is the same as the sex that they were assigned at birth. Non-trans is also used by some people.
So there we go. Because I know when I do workshops with organisations supporting LGBTQ young people, a lot of people do ask, what does cis mean? Especially when we start talking about cisgender people.
Yes.
So there we go.
Now we know.
So transgender man, a term used to describe someone who is assigned female at birth but identifies and lives as a man. They may be shortened to trans man or FTM, an abbreviation for female to male.
Transgender woman, a term used to describe someone who is assigned male at birth but identifies and lives as a woman. This may be shortened to trans woman or MTF, an abbreviation for male to female.
There we go.
And
when we're talking about gender, we spoke earlier how some people identify as male, some people identify as female, and some people identify in between, which can be called non-binary. So here's a wee definition of non-binary. So most people, including some transgender people, are either male or female. But some people don't neatly fit into the categories of man or woman or male or female. For example, some people have a gender that blends elements of being a man or a woman, or a gender that is different from being either male or female. Some don't identify with any gender, and some people's gender changes over time. People whose gender is not male or female use many different terms to describe themselves, with non-binary being one of the most common, which is why we often refer to non-binary rather than any of the other terms. Other terms include genderqueer, agender, bigender, and more. None of these terms mean exactly the same thing, but all speak to an experience of gender that is not simply male or female. So why do we call it non-binary?
Well, some societies, like ours, tend to recognise just two genders, male and female. The idea that there are only two genders is sometimes called a gender binary, because binary means having two parts, male and female. Therefore, non-binary is one term people use to describe genders that don't fall into one of these two categories, male or female.
See, it's all very interesting looking at gender and gender expression, because everyone expresses the gender the way they feel most comfortable, which is an amazing thing and something we really welcome as an LGBTQ plus organisation, because everyone should be able to be who they are and love who they love.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do as part of History Month, is educate, because a lot of people don't feel this way, and it's just because they need educating, in my humble opinion. And of course, drag. I have to mention drag, don't I? No matter what we do, I have to bring up drag somehow. So here is a wee definition of what drag is.
Crystal. There you go. One word.
Done. So a drag queen is a person, usually male, who uses drag clothing and makeup to I've lost where I am. To imitate and often exaggerate female gender signifiers and gender roles for entertainment purposes. Excuse me. Historically, most drag queens have been men dressing as women, but they can be of any gender and sexual identity. Now, you also get drag kings, and these are mainly female, but they can be of any gender and any sexual identity. And the performance artists who dress in masculine drag and personify male gender stereotypes. I've seen some very good drag kings performing. And a typical drag show may incorporate dancing, not if you've been to a Crystal show, acting, not if you've been to Crystal show, stand-up comedy, not if you've been to Crystal show, singing, definitely not Crystal, either live or lip syncing, that's more like Crystal, to pre-recorded tracks. So there's a little bit about drag.
Excellent. So what's our next
Well, we're going to look at pronouns, because pronouns are really, really important. And a lot of people think this is new language, and it's not. Pronouns have been around for years, and gender-neutral pronouns have been around for years as well.
Without noticing.
A lot of people say right back to the 1300s, if not before. So pronouns, well, we all know what a pronoun is, really, don't we? A pronoun, the words we use to refer to someone when we're not using their name. So this would be words like he, his, hers, she, and they and them. Pronouns usually suggest a person's gender, which is why it's important that we get them right, particularly when it comes to the trans communities. When it comes to calling people by the right name, gender, and pronoun, all we're really talking about is basic manners.
This is true.
It is true.
It's about letting someone know that you respect who they are.
Yeah.
And the simple truth is that it's not hard to get it right and to be respectful of each other's pronouns.
And as we were saying, Quant Rita, many people say this is new language. It's not. They has a long history stretching back to the late 1300s. Do you remember back then, Anna? In being used as a singular pronoun. Many of us already do it without even noticing and use they in different ways without noticing. So if someone says, leave a hat behind, you might go, oh, they've left their hat. I wonder if they'll come back for it. And you say that without noticing, and you're using a gender-neutral pronoun without even noticing, which is great.
Yes.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, do you notice that respect was in there? Respect instead of.
I do respect your pronouns, Anna.
Not the rest of
I know your pronouns. Because you will, if any of you have ever been to an Open Pride meeting or heard about Open Pride meetings or even done a Zoom meeting with us, you will notice that at the start of every meeting, we introduce ourselves, well, I'll say the start of every meeting, the start of any meeting with new people. We introduce ourselves with our name and our preferred pronouns. On the Open Pride Zoom account, which I mainly use for meetings, I have my name and my preferred pronouns so that everybody notices and everybody knows. And it's just about using pronouns. And even if you ever get an email off me, if you're one of those lucky people, you'll notice that on the bottom of my email signature, I have my pronouns and a little thing you can click to see why I have my pronouns at the bottom of my email signature.
And tell me, what are your pronouns? Not that I don't know, but you know.
I was going to say, you should know. My pronouns are either they, them, or he, him. I do use gender neutral as well as the male ones. And Crystal prefers to use the gender neutral ones only.
Good for her. And you, of course.
Can't believe you got Crystal's wrong instantly.
Good for them. Right.
Good for them, you were right. So he has 5 simple ways to step up with pronouns, just in case anyone's interested.
When you introduce yourself, also introduce your pronoun. Hi, Phil. I'm Anna. They. Them.
She's not very good at this. I do apologise, folks. I didn't rehearse her on this bit. What she meant to say was, hello, Anna. My name's Phil. My preferred pronouns are they, them, or he, him.
Okay, so my preferred pronouns are they, them, she, or her.
I'm working with amateurs, people.
Yes.
She doesn't even know her own.
No.
She's been under a lot of pressure these last 3 weeks to do these.
Yes, exactly. It's all new to me.
So yes,
Well, no, it's not. But...
introducing yourself with your pronouns. Putting your pronouns on your email signature and or social media profile. Mine are on my email. They're not on my social media, I'm afraid. I should do that.
Oh, you did on one of your Zoom meetings,
Oh, they're on all my Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
It's just not on my Facebook and stuff.
Oh, okay. Number 3, try to avoid addressing groups or people with gendered language.
This is very, very hard. I struggle as a host, as Crystal as a host. I know they struggle with it. I'm doing it myself. A lot of people start an event going, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, boys and girls. And it's all about trying to say everyone instead of ladies and gentlemen or boys and girls, which I do try and remember to do when we're doing our radio shows.
Fantastic.
Yeah. If you're not sure of someone's pronouns are, just ask them.
Yeah.
Just ask them. And if you accidentally misgender someone, just apologise to them. And then move on using the correct pronouns. That's the 5 simple steps.
Fantastic.
So there we go, folks.
There we go. Oh, that's the end. That's the end.
Yes. Now, and I haven't told you this, Anna. Yesterday, I watched a fantastic documentary on BBC iPlayer, only because one of my friends had put that they had watched it on BBC. And I watched it on BBC iPlayer yesterday. It's called Lily, a Transgender Story. And
now, is this the same Lily that we had on Facebook?
No, it's not.
No, okay.
No, this is a young girl who is M2F, originally from Wales, now living in Birmingham, with her boyfriend.
Did it make you cry?
It was quite emotional in places, yes. And it's a really good watch. So do watch, if you can, folks, on BBC iPlayer, A Transgender Story. And you would have seen on our Facebook and Instagram today, we did have Lily Alba.
We did.
As our LGBTQ plus person of the day.
Danish girl.
Yes, the movie The Danish Girl was based on her. Yes. So there we go.
That's folks. Also a very good film.
It is a very good film. It is a very good film.
Yes, take tissues.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's our little bit this evening on our little glossary. Yes. I keep wanting to say our little gay glossary.
Our little LGBTQ plus
glossary.
Glossary.
Yes, our little LGBTQ plus glossary to help you know some of the terms. We haven't covered them all, but it's an insight into some of them for you.
It is. It is. And if you want any more information, just PM us.
Yeah, send us a wee email or send us a wee message on Facebook.
Yep.
So, and we'll be back next week at 6 p.m. on Thursday when we will be looking at organisations, people who support LGBTQ plus people, lots of different things. And then next Friday is the big event. It's our roundup event, rounding up of our LGBTQ plus History Month our LGBTQ plus History programme, which we're very pleased with. We feel we've done a fabulous job. Big-headed or what, eh? But no, each week during LGBTQ plus History Month this February, we have had an article in the Open Times, we've had our live streams, and every day we've had a post about an LGBTQ plus person on Facebook and Instagram. So we're rounding all of that up with our virtual purple party next Friday, 7 p.m, live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
And we've got lots of
exciting stuff. We have two, not one, but two live artists performing for us. When I say live, they'll be performing from their own houses on their own videos.
Not in here.
They won't be in our little studio. It's only us allowed in because we're extended household.
Yes, we're very excited about that. And one of them is a local duo.
One of them is a local duo who have just started out performing as a duo. So that's very exciting. And the other one has a new single coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's very exciting. We can't wait for that.
Yes.
We also have a little bit of a quiz. We've got some prizes to give away because we've been given a little bit of funding from Equality Network for doing events throughout LGBT History Month as part of their LGBTQ plus recovery fund.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. So we've got a few prizes to give away. So get yourselves along to that. And I've got a special guest to chat to.
Ooh.
Well, Crystal's got I'm not coming because I can't be bothered to come to purple parties. Crystal's going to be here.
From Thursday, won't you?
I'll be too tired from Thursday, so we're going to have Crystal do the purple party to give me a night off. I think you're still coming.
Yeah, I've still got to come.
Yeah, you still got to come.
Yeah, I've still got to book my makeup artist.
Oh, I know, it's terrible. So does Crystal.
I know.
But no, we've got some special guests who are going to be chatting to Crystal about I'm trying to get this right so I don't mess it up. I've completely gone out of my head.
And you can't ask me because I don't know what you're talking about.
You do.
Oh, do I?
You do, yes.
The new thing that we're doing.
No, not the new thing. We've got special guests from the Glasgow mission of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Oh my gosh!
Not the Sisters of Mercy, then.
No, but we've got the sisters with us next week, which is going to be fabulous. They are amazing. They're going to be talking about how that all sort of started, and about different things as well. So that's going to be really good. We're very much looking forward to that, and I will get their name right next week because I haven't got it written down on today's sheet. That's why I can't remember. It is.
And of course, the week after,
LGBTQ plus History Month will be over for another year, which is sad. But we do have something brand new starting on the 4th of March. It will happen the first Thursday of every single month. And it's for LGBTQ plus people living in urban and surrounding areas. And it's our brand new monthly meetup, which is going to be held at Martin's Monday Club because we're working in partnership with them to deliver our Friends of Dorothy Club.
Friends of Dorothy, I love that.
It's a little Friends of Dorothy Club, and basically it's so informal. It's you come, you sit down, you have a natter.
Yeah. And it's open to everybody.
It's open to everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. We can't wait to start that. There'll be more information coming out next week on our social medias about that.
Oh, and there was one thing we forgot to mention.
What did we forget to mention?
For Purple Friday.
For Purple Friday, yes.
We forgot to say that if you dress up, take a wee picture of yourself.
Take a wee selfie.
Yep. Send it to us.
Yep. Fabulous.
There might be a winner.
The BBC documentary that I mentioned was Lily, a transgender story.
Yes.
Lily, a transgender story. And it is really interesting to watch. So once you've watched Drag Race UK at 7:00, you can watch that.
Guess what we're doing after?
No, it wouldn't be.
No,
of course
not. Of course not.
Yeah, Lily, a transgender story. That's
Thank you,
the one.
Colin.
It is really, really good. So there we go.
Yes.
So we've got lots of exciting things happening. As you can tell, we cannot wait to see you all next week. And we can't wait to see you with selfies for the Purple Party. Send them during the party as the comments via email. We will be monitoring them. And there might even be a wee one of our giveaways for
the
best purple extravaganza. Extravaganza. So yes. So there we go, folks. It's all very exciting. Thank you once again for joining us this evening. We love doing these.
We do actually.
And I'm a little bit sad that next week's our last weekly live stream.
But we are thinking of doing something on a month. Well, we'll still be carrying on doing.
We'll still be carrying on doing monthly stuff. Obviously, we have our new group of Friends of Dorothy starting as well, which we're very much looking forward to seeing you there. Obviously, it is in the venue. It is in Martin's Munder Club, but it is limited spacing. It's all socially distanced, and there's very strict policies and rules. Like you just have to have a mask on at all times unless you're having a sip of your tea, things like that.
Yeah, you will get a cup of tea though.
You will get a cup of tea or coffee, yeah. But that's at a specific time, and we do take track and trace details at the start of every group as well. And it is limited the number of people we can have in. So if you do turn up and we do say we're full, then we're heartbroken. We have to do that.
Yeah.
Because it is so limited how many people we can have in there. But we're really looking forward to that starting on the 4th of March.
Yes, and we will be looking into maybe doing a Zoom group for people that can't get in or don't feel, that they want to get in.
Yeah.
So, just
bear with. It's all new to us as well.
It is. But any ideas that you've got that you think might be good or
send us a message. You can contact us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email us, openpride@gmail.com, or you can send us a message through our website, www.openpride.com. And while you're there, have a look at the merchandise. You could get yourself a nice t-shirt like this, not like that, but like this.
Well, you could get one like this, but not on that side.
No, you can get one on that side because we're not on that. But these ones are.
And there's loads of other things on the website.
There is loads of other things. There's loads of information. There's some fab pictures from Pride 2019 as well.
God, that was ages ago now, wasn't it?
It does feel like it. But thank you so much to everyone joining us.
Thank you so much.
We shall see you all again soon.